Hello, Elena here. Today, we have a young man as a guest who has a steel voice. Of course, he didn't want to go himself. His wife brought him. He was very scared because he thought it would definitely be painful. And it's not surprising, because there are a lot of horror stories on the internet about such scary, some kind of terrible removals of gallstones. And so it is. There are a lot of ways to get rid of this nuisance. There are more severe and there are simpler. We prefer the most common, the simplest and fastest method, non-surgical, naturally, mechanical removal of the gallstone. It will be very easy to remove with the help of such special nippers. This is a very important tool. If you can't cut it out, they should be long, thin, and very well sharpened. A special pathological forceps is definitely needed, which will not slide. It has special notches. As usual, I will provide links to the tool in the video description below. This is my favorite brand, and exactly these sharp pieces are suitable for such manipulation. In short, this is really a must-have if you do pedicure with ingrown nails just like us. In general, our main task is to cut this dry skin. But let's first figure out what a corn is and why it appears in our specific case. And in most others, a corn appears due to constant mechanical action. Look exactly what piece straight took off the cap, like a mushroom. You can imagine how such a piece of skin presses. Well, while we continue to remove the unnecessary contents of the corn, I will continue. So here it is, a callus. It forms in those places where there is constant pressure. In our case, the young man honestly admitted that he prefers narrower shoe models. Well, he likes it that way. He finds it beautiful that way. It turned out there is such a problem. But the problem exists only on one leg. In our case, on the left one. There is a reason for this as well. The thing is, we all have different supporting or pivot legs, as we call them. That is, it's the leg we like to lean on and rely on when we're just standing. Few people stand on both legs. Well, imagine you've stopped, and you'll definitely shift your weight onto one of your legs. By the way, I also tend to lean on my left leg, and so does he. So, every time he stops in his tracks, he shifts his weight onto his left leg. And in the place where his shoe hurts him the most, because it's narrow, there's pressure, friction. And of course, at some point, the skin starts to protect itself. It starts to grow, and we get a corn. Sometimes these corns are not simple, as we are used to seeing, yes, those with warts, with watery ones, but such hard ones. That is, this dry base goes deep inside and gives a very painful effect. For those who have not tried, I suggest sticking a toothpick in the corn and wiggle it a bit when you walk. These are the feelings these people experience. That is, something inside you is gnawing at the fabric and constantly causing discomfort, both when walking. That is, it is always unpleasant with any touch. That's why during the cleaning process, that is, cutting this skin, it needs to be ventilated in this way. That is, to probe and ask the client if there are any unpleasant feelings left or not. Next, it is essential to conduct a consultation on the selection of the right footwear, which is what is happening now. That is, we explain to the client that he does not have nails, but rather fingers on his nails, just in a bunch. And he finally understood what needs to be done and promised to take care of his footwear. Well, our task now will be to apply the load. Because the moment we completely removed the unnecessary dry tissues, the skin was left unprotected. And if he just puts on his boots or slippers now, in which he came, it will be, firstly, painful, and secondly, everything will go around and around. That is, it will not stop, because you need to fight not only with the consequence, but also eliminate the cause. In our case, the consequence is the corn itself. The causes are the shoes, so you need to relieve the pressure. And let's not forget that after we cut these unnecessary tissues, it is absolutely necessary to smooth everything out and stitch it up. Here we are, helped by pads. In my case, pads from an abrasive 180 grit. I'll also leave a link. This is the smallest disc they have, and we use it for such precise manipulations. Now let's continue about the load. The load works very easily. We take a special fabric that is somewhat similar to a roller, and it is on a glue base. You will need to cut a hole in it the size of our traumatized surface. This is such a fabric. We cut out a hole, and then you just need to fix it with self-adhesive bandage. And then when walking and interacting with shoes inside, there will be no pressure specifically on this point, and the tissues will be able to grow and recover. Well, in fact, everything is very simple and easy. You just need to think a little bit. Well, if you are afraid to treat such areas independently, then I highly recommend going through training. We personally learned from Peshinka. I will also leave a link. Well, Elena was with you. Bye.